Welcome to the Packaging Scholars Podcast, the podcast where we discuss technical packaging topics to enable you to make educated packaging decisions for your business. All right, welcome everybody to the Packaging Scholars Podcast. I'm joined here today with my friend Neema Pourian, and today's topic is the How to Recycle program. So, as you know, recycling has gotten really complicated over the years, and people just don't know exactly what to do with their packaging when they're done with it. So, the How to Recycle company, the organization, has come up with a way to help people understand what to do with their packaging. So I'm sure you've seen these tiles in the back of packaging. It will direct you to recycle it or it's not recyclable and kind of help communicate to you what to do with it. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the program, why it's important, why you as an organization should be interested in it, and then kind of navigating the logistics of, okay, what do I do next if I want to sign up, and how do I get these tiles on my packaging, and what if I need extra help? So here we are with Neema Pourian. He is from Marks, which is an SGS company, and he is the director of engineering. He leads a team of engineers in the development of custom structural packaging and sustainability solutions for a variety of industries and clients. And for the past 4 years, his team has been supporting clients with utilizing the How to Recycle program. So as we dive in here, I'd love to just start with kind of understanding more from your perspective, Neema, why companies are interested in the How to Recycle program, as well as some of the benefits of participating.
Absolutely. And first off, Jessica, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. So yeah, we work with a variety of clients across different industries, and a lot of them, it should be no surprise, they have sustainability goals. And as part of that, educating consumers on what to do with their packaging at end of life is very important, right? It shows that the company cares and they're actually enabling consumers to partake in the process. And it's really beneficial for a number of reasons. One, I mentioned educating the consumer, but it's also shifting behaviors too. So they see that label on pack, and not only are they recycling more, but they're recycling better. And what I mean by recycling better is they're not putting in packaging that cannot be recycled, right? So that's a big part of the issue today with recycling, is just contamination within the recycling stream. And that's very important too. And probably the third benefit of the program is it improves the recycling stream. So a lot of companies have goals around post-consumer recycled content, and they want to increase the amount of PCR that they have in their packaging. And so a better recycling stream means more and higher quality PCR. And then the other kind of benefits too is just around building brand trust. So a lot of studies have been done around this label, and consumers respond very positively when they see that. They like brands better. They're more likely to purchase products that have this label. And then finally, one of the biggest benefits too is even looking beyond the label. The program really works together with you as an organization to help you improve the recyclability of your packaging. So as you think about a packaging portfolio or even the roadmap, what are those steps that you can take to just become better at making your packaging recyclable? So that definitely that information and advice that the program gives is very, very valuable.
Absolutely. Okay, so absolutely important to have people understand what they need to do with their packaging and be that brand steward. So as we think about actually wanting to participate, what do companies specifically need to do in order to participate? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So the How to Recycle program is really a part of an organization called Green Blue. And as part of that, too, they have the Sustainable Packaging Coalition, the SPC. So it's a great nonprofit organization that really their mission is just to advance, sustainable packaging. And so the advice that we give a lot of clients is to start there, start and become a member of SPC, because they have just this wealth of tools and information. And then since they are the governing body for How to Recycle, if you're a member of SPC, you get a discount on the How to Recycle program. And it's just as simple as that. Going to their website, signing up, becoming a member. And relative to the organization size and revenue, they have a pricing structure that is very, very reasonable, very cost effective for what the organization gets in
Yeah,
return.
absolutely. And now, as we think about participating, we think about exactly what we need to do. So, if I'm a company, an organization, manufacturing food, I would request the specs from my packaging supplier, and then those packaging specs are really going to be what determines whether or not the material is recyclable, right? So, as we think about submitting those, like partnering with How to Recycle, we submit our packaging specs, and they're really a partner, right, to help us determine whether or not a material is recyclable, and then enable us or empower us as manufacturers to really make a decision about, hey, maybe I want to switch a material or make different considerations.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the other huge benefits of the How to Recycle program, why we really believe in this system is because, and you mentioned at the beginning, it's recycling is complicated. And, especially around the United States where we have different laws, we have different collection rates at different municipalities all across the country. And they even look at things like sorting and reprocessing at a materials recovery facility or a MRF. And maybe even most importantly, they look at what about the end markets? Who is buying these materials after they've been collected, sorted, and processed? So all those factors kind of bring into the equation of what is and what's not recyclable. And absolutely, I think, as you know, over the past, decade or so, so many advancements in packaging technologies, different types of substrates, just really effective in terms of providing barrier, in terms of manufacturability, in terms of branding, lightweighting. So with all the complexities that have come with this amazing packaging technology, they're really keeping a pulse on all those factors that go into whether or not packaging is recyclable or
Yeah,
not.
and that's fantastic, because another benefit is that companies can utilize the materials and the data that they put into the How to Recycle system to start generating some reports, right? And kind of understanding where they're at, and potentially use that data and that information to create sustainability goals and reporting and metrics, correct? So it's not just like you submit,
Absolutely.
right? It's like you can pull that out again, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's not a one-off thing, right? And that's the other benefit of becoming a member is that you have an account, you have a portal, and all of your items, all your SKUs are housed within that portal with How to Recycle. And so over time, as you build up your database within the portal, then absolutely you can have those analytics, you can have reports, you can kind of get a broader view of what your packaging portfolio looks like, and then you can make informed decisions, right? And I think that's the point here too. I think a lot of companies, they have sustainability goals, some of them 2025, which is right around the corner, some of them are 2030 and beyond. So I think this is all about collecting the recyclability information from a trusted source in one place, and then getting that data analytics to make these informed decisions about your sustainability.
Yeah, because a lot of ERP systems don't have that kind of information in them. Like you can't assign recyclable or not recyclable, or, any kind of contingencies in an ERP system. And so it really is a mountain of work if you're going to start scrubbing through every material that you buy and try to figure out which is recyclable, which isn't. So having how to recycle account, having access to your data like in a different viewpoint, in sort of that sustainability viewpoint, is going to be really powerful, for organizations to make decisions, right?
Absolutely. And that's the thing we really like about this program too, right? The fact that they're
Mm-hmm.
nonprofit, the fact that they have hundreds of organizations, not just brands and manufacturers, but even retailers are participating. And so it's this pretty comprehensive program with a lot of different stakeholders. And really the benefit too is, right, they're coming at it from agnostic point of view, right? They not motivated by business, and really thinking about what is and what's not recyclable from a broad perspective in the United States and Canada.
Yeah. That's great. Okay, so now we've kind of talked about the benefits and why companies should participate, not just from like the consumer facing viewpoint, but also from, really being empowered to use their own data, to make informed decisions.
Hmm.
And now we've kind of discussed a little bit how we submit specs to get access or approved tiles for the materials that we're using. So now we're to the point where, okay, we're in there, we have our tiles. Talk a little bit about like how do we maintain this? How do we integrate with like our graphics designers or artwork department to get the tile kind of integrated? And are there any watch outs as people think about doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not a complicated thing, right? Gather material specs, you submit it to the platform, they go back and forth with you, making sure you have all the pertinent information. They provide a tile or a label in terms of an artwork file, and then working with your team to apply that on pack. But one of the things that we found too is, especially with companies that have a large number of SKUs, is defining a process up front, something that's efficient, something that's seamless, something that integrates with your artwork management program is really, really key. Because we've seen situations where it could turn into a lot of back and forth with suppliers, or mismanagement of the process. So we really emphasize making sure you have a workflow, a process that's super, super efficient, and that just makes everyone's lives easier, especially with companies that have a large portfolio. So that's really step one, is defining a really good and efficient process to handle the workload. And then the second one really is assigning resources to do it. So I think a lot of companies sometimes make the assumption that this is easy. We can kind of just tack it on to artwork, but it really does take the effort of an individual. And we prefer to have a packaging engineer be involved with that day-to-day management. And the reason we say that is because of just how complex and technical packaging has become. So kind of understanding those nuances and things like multi-layer or even printing and finishes, all those things impact the recyclability. And that's all the information that How to Recycle is looking for as well. So those are kind of the two big things, like how are you going to do it through the process? And then who are going to be the responsible parties managing it from a day-to-day.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then from a mark standpoint, we think about some companies might have an engineer, maybe they don't have an engineer. How does Marks like help companies get to the point where either they can manage it on their own, or maybe you guys are helping them? Kind of talk a little bit about your organization and what you guys do in this space to help out.
Yeah, so I mean, Marks is a part of SGS Co, and so we're really the design arm of the company. And within that, I have a team of engineers, and we're really on that upfront part of it, right? That gathering specifications, working with vendors, understanding all those technical details to get the right tile assignment through the platform. But then also downstream, once that tile has been assigned to that SKU, is working with graphic designers, working with production artists, making sure that that tile is placed on pack properly within the guidelines, and it's just a seamless experience. So the role that Marks really plays, either upfront through the engineering support that we provide, or even a little bit downstream too with the application to our work.
All right, that makes sense. Thanks.
One of the other things too, I'll just add to that as well, is one of the principles we've learned is to integrate with an existing client's workflow and online databases. So that's sort of the last thing people want when they sign up for a new program, is yet another kind of login and things that they have to do. And so one of the ways that we've been really successful with clients in implementing this program is making sure that we integrate into what they already have. So that's a really key principle, just to kind of make sure that it's not yet another system that people have to learn and things like that. So just as much as we can integrate into what they already have seems to be a recipe for success.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you already have a process, they don't need help with that, but it's more just, getting those tiles on and adding a process on to what they already do, just to make sure it gets done successfully. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining me here today to explain the How to Recycle process and the organization, and how organizations can get these tiles on their packaging, so we can help people understand what to do with their packaging and keep that recycling stream pure and increase the rates and do all the good things we need to.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me,
You're
Jessica.
welcome.